Students, this is Coach Holiday, and today we're going to be looking at systems of equations, applications. This is our second lesson with applications, and we're going to call it Systems of Equations, Applications Reloaded. So let's go ahead and get your notes out and get ready to get started on this. The difference between today's lesson and yesterday's lesson is that today we're not going to just set these up, but we're also going to use the graphing calculator to solve them. So that's the extra step we're going to do today. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. After years of research, the nation's health experts agree that high cholesterol in blood is a major contributor to heart disease. Thus, cholesterol intake should be limited to 300 milligrams or less per day. We're going to come back and use that in a little bit. Fast foods provide a cholesterol carnival. Altogether, 2 McDonald's Quarter Pounders and 3 Burger King Whoppers with cheese contain 520 milligrams of cholesterol. That's where we're going to get our first equation from. The second equation is going to come from this next sentence. 3 Quarter Pounders and 1 Whopper with cheese exceed the daily intake by 53 milligrams. Okay, so this is where we're going to get our both of our equations from. Alright, we're going to take our first equation from the 2 McDonald's Quarter Pounders and 3 Burger King Whoppers with cheese. But first we have to identify what we're going to label our X and our Y. What we're trying to find, at the end we say determine the cholesterol count in each item. So our items are the Quarter Pounder and the Whopper. So we're going to let X be the amount of cholesterol in a Quarter Pounder, or in 1 Quarter Pounder. I'm going to abbreviate QP. We're going to let our Y be the amount of the amount, not a Quarter Pounder, but the amount of cholesterol in 1 Whopper. Okay, so now it's time to write our equations. Right, the first equation is going to come from the blue part. It says 2 McDonald's Quarter Pounders, so 2 times the amount of cholesterol in a Quarter Pounder, which is our X, and that's our plus 3 Burger King Whoppers, or the cholesterol in a Burger King Whopper, which will be our Y, contains or is 520 milligrams of cholesterol. So 2 times the amount of cholesterol in a Quarter Pounder plus 3 times the amount of cholesterol in a Whopper is going to be 520 milligrams of cholesterol. Our second equation is going to come from the green. 3 Quarter Pounders, or 3 times the cholesterol in 1 Quarter Pounder, plus 1 Whopper, 1 times the cholesterol in a Whopper, is going to equal, the suggested daily value or daily intake of cholesterol plus 53. So it says it exceeds the suggested daily intake by 53. So that would be the 300 milligrams. That's the suggested daily intake, and we have to add the 53 because it exceeds that. So we get 353. Okay, now we've got our equations written. We want to put them in the calculator to solve this. If you remember, to solve in the calculator, the first step is to write each equation in slope-intercept form. So that's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to take 2x plus 3y equals 520. We're going to solve it for y. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. Subtract 2x. That gives me 3y equals negative 2x plus 520. And then divide everything by 3. And That gives me y equals negative 2 over 3, just reduces to negative 2/3, x plus 520 divided by 3 does not reduce. You can try that in your calculator, but it doesn't reduce. So I'm going to leave it in these terms right here. Now I'm going to solve the other equation. The other equation is 2x plus 3y. I'm sorry, let me start that over. My second equation is 3x plus 1y equals 353. Alright, so I'm going to solve that for y. Subtract 3x from both sides and get 1y, or just y, equals negative 3x plus 353. Okay, so that's my second equation. Now I'm going to drag my calculator over and we're going to solve this system using the graphing calculator. Now if you remember, what we'll do after the solve for y is I'm going to go to y equals on my calculator and I'm going to enter them both in there. And just to save time, I've already entered them both into the graphing calculator. And then if you'll remember, what I do is I want to graph them. And I click graph, and notice they don't come up on my screen. The reason why is because the y-intercepts are 353 and 520 over 3 is 170 something, so they're way off the screen. So here's what I do. I click the zoom button and I want to zoom out. I want to press 3 and enter, and that zooms me out. You'll see this little thing is moving up here in the corner of the screen. I've zoomed out, but it still doesn't show them, so I'm going to press enter again to zoom out one more time. And you'll see now my lines are both on my graph. So all it is, it's zoom, 3, enter, and you enter a couple times until you get it to show up. Now remember, we'll press second and trace to get to calc, press 5 for intersect, and then press enter 3 times. Enter, enter, and enter. And it tells us that our intersection is at 77 and 122. That's our order pair. So what that means is we have 77 milligrams of cholesterol and 122 milligrams of cholesterol in a Whopper. So 77 milligrams of cholesterol in a quarter pounder, 122 milligrams of cholesterol in a Whopper. Alright, so we're going to work on some more of these tomorrow when you get to class. Alright, now what do we do? Well, just like always, you go ahead and complete that WISP and submit it, and we'll see you in class to work on that. Have a great evening.